Good morning. Today is Thursday, June 25th, and let me remind you that today is a day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Solomon's temple must have been magnificent. Designed by God, built with the finest materials, constructed by God-given talent, and representing the very presence of God. It doesn't get any better than all of that. For centuries, that temple stood in Jerusalem as a reminder to all the inhabitants of Judah and to any visitor that would come to Jerusalem. God was there. Almighty God, the creator of the universe, housed in a physical structure. And no, we know that God is not enclosed in a physical structure. Even Jeremiah reminded the people of that. But God's presence was there in the form of the most amazing structure on earth. We can just imagine then how the people felt in 586 BC when the Babylonians came in and destroyed the temple, destroyed actually all of Jerusalem, including that holy temple. The temple was rebuilt. After the people had been in captivity for 70 years in Babylon, they came back, and under the direction of Ezra, they rebuilt the temple. And it was wonderful, but it never had the glory of that first temple. Okay, jump forward again 500 years. Jesus comes. He recognized the significance of the temple, but he was not in awe of it because he knew that that structure, as amazing as it was temporary. In Matthew 24, there's a conversation between Jesus and his disciples. They pointed out the temple complex to him, expecting him to sing its glory, but he surprised them. Rather than talking about how wonderful it was, he told them that it would soon be destroyed. Some of the people who were there listening to him would see it torn down. He made that promise. And he said these things almost without concern, because he was looking beyond that coming point of destruction to a time when greater things would happen, things greater than the presence of a physical temple. The disciples that were hearing him say these things, they must have been puzzled. They must have wondered how this could possibly happen. They had to think that Jesus was talking in some kind of symbolic language, because surely their temple couldn't possibly be destroyed again. Until it was. Less than 40 years later, the Roman general Titus besieged the city and eventually ransacked and burned the temple, completely leveled it. All that was left was a wall on the west side of the temple that was actually built into the hillside there, and that wall is still there. It's called the West Wall. It's a major point of attraction for Jews today and a tourist attraction for many others, still testifying to the fact that that temple once existed. But it was gone. That temple was destroyed again until it wasn't. God's plan was for a whole new concept of a temple not made of wood and stone and precious metal, but a temple made of people. Not a physical structure, as in just in Jerusalem, but a spiritual structure that would be planted in every city on earth. This temple is made up of individual lives who are serving God wherever they are, as a reminder of the presence of that same Almighty God that they knew in earlier days. When the Apostle Paul wrote to the Roman Christians, he said to them that they were the temple of God. They were in the city of Rome, And it was their task to be a reminder to the people of that city of the presence of the Almighty God. Okay, jump forward again, this time 2,000 years. Here we are. We are that temple. We are the reminder to all humankind of that same Almighty God. The way we love people is to be a display of the majesty of this God. The way we serve people is to display the compassion of this mighty God. The way we worship is to display our reverence for this Almighty God. All the beauty and the design that went into that original physical temple is now at work in us as His spiritual temple. We look around at the news today, and many of us are disturbed about how there are some who are destroying and defacing monuments to our nation's history. Consider how much more severe a desecration is happening when people today, who are supposed to be the temple of God, act like we have no regard for the love or the compassion or the reverence we should be showing the world. Christian, you individually and we collectively are the temple of God. So go, live as His temple today.